or one of
and they actually admitted it.
Yeah, they actually come out with this technology that can allow anybody to make a cell phone call from the air. It was breakthrough technology 3 years later after they supposedly made all these phone calls from midair. So think about that one.
Yeah, it's like, wow, we make cell phone calls, but we didn't make them on 9/11. I truly feel bad. I'm not making fun of the actual event. Yeah. I guarantee something happened on 9/11, and that's why you need to check on it for yourself. Yeah. I'm a true patriot. I try to be up in the know on what's going on in our state, in our country. And what makes me upset is like a lot of people lost their lives that day for unmanageable things. You know, my brother's been in Afghanistan and Iraq and all that. He says, you know what, we have no business being here. You know, he says, how would you feel if you got invaded in your country? And what would you do?
Yeah, you'd eventually fight back. How could you not? I can imagine soldiers walking the streets around here and expecting us to just sit there and do nothing.
You would fight back. Yeah. Come on, it's not like, it's common sense of some children you don't even know, you don't even care to know, and coming and saying, hey, we're putting you under martial law and all that. What are you going to do? You're going to say no.
Yeah, exactly. If somebody was to kick in your door at night and tell you, come with us, you're going to do what we say? No, I don't think so. No. You're going to try something to defend your family.
And what's sad about it is, a lot of these people in Guantanamo Bay have been proven with a shadow of doubt, with 99.99% of them have been proven a shadow of doubt not guilty, not found guilty.
Yep.
And it makes me, it's like, it wonders like, you know, if all this happened, what happens our own neck of the woods?
Yeah,
you know,
not telling what's going on.
Yeah,
we're not being told.
Yeah, it's sad. It's like, I don't care. What's so funny is people don't realize the emphasis on 9/11 was the Twin Towers. A lot of people don't even know what Building 7's about.
Yeah, and you know what's funny? Building 7 was, what did it house?
Yeah.
What was underneath it? It was gold and a bunch of documents that a lot of people would have been happy to see disappear.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, they did disappear. And one funny thing about that building collapsing is, was it in France? They reported.
Yeah.
I think it was France. I can't
remember. BBC.
BBC, yeah. BBC reported like an hour before the building actually collapsed. They reported that it collapsed.
How would they know?
How would they even know? A lot of people, like you said, a lot of people don't even know now that that building collapsed. But they know about the towers. But how did they know that Building 7 of all buildings in the World Trade Center collapsed an hour before?
And the lady's sitting right there behind it, and it's still intact.
Yeah, as she's reporting it, there's a picture in the background, and there's Building 7 sitting right there, but she's reporting that it had collapsed. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Who released this information?
Yeah. And it's sad. It's like Condoleezza Rice told Mayor Brown Willie, I believe, from San Francisco, do not fly today.
Yeah, she told him, do not fly today. Of all days, don't fly.
Why? Come on. Why? And here's the thing is, do your own research, by the way. Or, you know, like I always say, do your own research. What's so funny is people don't realize a week or a couple days before the 9/11 attack, they actually took the bomb-sniffing dogs out of those buildings.
Yep.
Now, why would they do that?
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of obvious. To me, that's an obvious thing. I bet you a lot of the employers are like, what's going on? Why did they take them out all of a sudden?
Yeah.
You know,
it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
And you know what's funny? Don't take our word for it. Like Lamar Vernon.
Yeah, don't take my word for it.
Here's the thing. These people, the fire officers, all these different type of people, paramedics, all these, they said they heard bombs. Yeah,
there was some people. In fact, there's another video too. I don't know if it's in Loose Change, but there was a girl who had her camera on a tripod.
It's in that one too.
Is it in Loose Change? In Loose Change, there is a girl who has her camera on a tripod, and it's pointed at the towers. And after a plane hits, the plane hits and blows up. And then nothing. All of a sudden, her tripod shakes.
And then, a couple seconds later?
A couple seconds later, it falls. Now, she was quite a bit away. I mean, those buildings are tall, so it looked big in her video, but she was far enough away to where an airplane hitting a tower, it wouldn't have shook the ground like that. Would have been that much of a delay between that time and that time. But there was one guy who was a janitor. He said that he was, you know, when things are going on and, you know, crazy stuff going on, he heard, you know, the crash up above, and all of a sudden he heard boom, boom underneath. that doesn't happen from a plane hitting 110 stories up above your head. That happens when something blows up underneath, as in something is blowing up to weaken or take out the supporting structures that support the entire building from underneath, which would be thermite cores wrapped around the supportive beams. So
it doesn't make sense. You know what? That's why I love, especially by the way, I love Hanford's law enforcement. They're great.
They're awesome.
They're awesome. They you know what? I don't care. Anytime you need them, they're everywhere.
Yeah.
I think that's great, especially in our community. By the way, goods up to that.
Yeah.
But what's funny is I take law enforcement most of the time, except there's some bad apples in any enforcement. But in that situation, these law enforcement said, hey, this looks like a demolition to me. I don't know how many times people said, these people, and it was funny, even demolition experts said, this one guy, he says, and this is another video, he looks at this, he says, oh, so yeah, this is a demolition. And he's like, he said, yeah, he said, and the guy asked him, you know what video this is? It looks like a regular demolition to me. I can guarantee. You sure this demolition? I can guarantee this. He says this is the Twin Towers. He's like, what? You're like, and then he paused. He's like, what?
So when you take out all that, if he had known beforehand that it was he would be like, oh, there's no way. But looking at it from a very neutral point of view, he was like, whoa. He knew that it was a demolition.
Yeah, and what's funny, people could call you nuts and all that. I'd rather be called a nut because I'm patriotic and I love this country and this country's done a lot for me.
Yeah.
And people say, well, you're just a conspiracy nut. Trust me, I don't like conspiracy. I could care less. But I'm a person that like facts. Like we were talking about the Wayne scale.
Yeah, the justice is blind with the blindfold and the scale. It's have a point of view from the beginning to where you don't favor anything and you look at the facts for what they are, and it's going to weigh on one side or the other. And they're still I call them crackpots because they still think that you're the nut. It's like, hey, use common sense. Don't use your psychological babble that doesn't even make sense. Like, why would the government? I don't know why the government would do that. I can't answer that. Okay, I'm just going by the facts. Yeah, I've had like somebody that we mentioned earlier has said, what would the government have to gain out of it? I don't know. What would anybody have to gain out of it? So it's the fact is that all this stuff makes no sense. And they're trying to make us believe something that makes no sense. So what they have to gain from it is probably in the end control of the people.
Correct.
But why anybody would want to knock down a building or a few buildings that kills a lot of people, innocent people, is beyond me. And I'm not even going to start talking about that. But so
well, that's a later subject. It just gives me the point, and I'll show you. I'll show you another. We'll update that thing. Thank you. By the way, thank you for this comment that we're talking about loose change. But I'll show you another video where after 9/11, and it was actually before 9/11 happened, where they went to Afghanistan and said, hey, we want your oil. And on that, after 9/11, Afghan said, no, we're going to keep it for ourselves, we need it for our people. And after 9/11, they went on the same lines of where the oil was at, the same path for the invasion.
Yeah, they did. And if you look at, I forgot that video that you're talking about, they show where America has placed all of their permanent U.S. military bases, and it just happens to be along that pipeline that carries all that oil. So, wonder what's in their plans.
So I mean, there's more than meets the eye, but like I said, go ahead and check for what it's all about. There's so many things that we could be taking care of, like our own country. Like our own deficit. $3 trillion, more than $3 trillion now, 7 trillion, 7 something, and that's a huge deficit. Here's what I tell people. As you can tell, I'm Mexican, but there's, from Japan, China, all these different, you gotta look, not what the media feeds you nowadays, you gotta look for your own truth, okay? Like, North Korea. North Korea was so bad, they wouldn't let President Bill Clinton go in there, pick up those people, and he was like, hey, let's go eat, let's chill, you know? But people will say, well, because we would have bombed them. Oh, that's a great philosophy. We would have bombed them.
We would have bombed them. We would have forced them into doing it.
If you have that mindset, then I don't really want to talk to you. You're just idiotic. And, like I told people about the Constitution, in other countries, they have a constitution on their rice, on their beans. I would love to have the constitution. By the way, Jefferson, that'd be great if we put the constitution in there.
Yeah.
But every day, a little excerpt of your constitution and your values and your rights. But luckily, I study my constitution. But most people don't even know their constitution. They don't even know they have the right to